Alright, welcome people. I am doing another, or the first actually, the first video where I will be analyzing the market. We are going to start with the mining market actually, even though that's not the proper order. I'm going to go through all of these products if I can, and give what I think on how they are going to do in the somewhat short term, probably more like medium term in most people's opinion, which will be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. Alright, so let's start with cobblestone. I will skip regular cobblestone because we don't deal with cheap objects. Enchanted cobblestone. I think this could go up. I would think 1100 is a fair price. But it's nothing really interesting here. Coal. We have enchanted blocks of coal. This has already been going up, but also the volume here, 8.9 thousand. It was significantly more quite recently. It's been decreasing even throughout just this day. So I think this will continue to go up. It may stop here for a bit. Let me check. I think it'll get into the 170s, but I don't think it will hit 180 before it goes down in another dip. I do expect this to go over 180 though. I expect this to go to 200 once the market fully fixes. Now let's look at iron. That's too expensive. Yeah, let's check the Warden parts. Warden helm. 163. It keeps going up. 118. So basically, because those keep going up, that's going to decrease the number of potential customers, which will decrease demand for iron. So I think this shouldn't be anywhere higher than like 270. So I expect this one to go down. Gold. This has been going down a little bit. The buy orders, oh my goodness, that looks bad. Yeah, these have been going down. This has mostly stayed the same here, but I think it will go down very quickly soon because that volume, 505,000, has actually been increasing. It was 300 something thousand a few days ago. So I would say that enchanted gold blocks are going to go down. They may not go down until after the election is over. We shall see. Diamonds, these never change. I don't actually care. They literally never change. Okay, lapis lazuli has actually gone down today. It was higher today. And if you look at the buy price, 16,000 volume available, that's pretty low for the current price. I am actually going to, yeah, I'm going to put in an order for that. Just in the very short term, that looks pretty good, even just flipping it in the morning. So let's do that. In the long term, well, medium term, I think this will go down because it normally does, but not substantially. 38,000 sell and 40,000 buy are pretty normal for lapis lazuli. But long term, I feel like this should go up. I just think the market's got the wrong value on this, and I've thought that for quite a while. And I'm apparently wrong because it hasn't changed. Now let's look over at emeralds. This is too high for emerald blocks. There's not enough demand. 14,000 is a higher supply than justifies that price of 172,000. The NPC sell value is it's 150 something. I'm thinking 153 maybe. And oftentimes the sell price here will actually dip below NPC value. Recently it hasn't been dipping more than like 1,000, but you know, it's far too large of a margin for the bid-ask spread here. So this has got to go down because nobody's going to be buying at that price, and 14,000 is a lot of volume for this product. Oh, but this is actually low volume. You know, that changes things, because 45,000 is barely anything for an item this cheap. Well, in that case, I'm not sure. In the very short term, I could actually see this hitting 200k in that case. But the volume is going to be tiny. The volume of actual traded items. So I'm not going to invest. But I mean, it's got potential, and you're at NPC values, essentially. I just think that it would be too hard to actually get it to sell. Redstone. I kind of like these prices, but I don't like that volume. 54,000. And these buy orders are all small. No price walls. No price walls here either. But the price could rise, because you could see those numbers change pretty quickly. I'm not going to buy this. I will buy it if it dips below 44,000. I will definitely place an order. I don't deal in regular enchanted redstone. Quartz. I do not know the quartz market, honestly. So let's check what the NPC is on this. Oh, that's a terrible deal. What is the demand for this? No, that's not enough. I don't know what the demand for quartz is at the moment. It's probably some dungeon item. I honestly do not know, which is probably not a good thing. So I have no input on quartz. Just going by NPC, I don't like the pricing by volume here. It's hard to judge volume. Well, I can see it's got the 9.1 thousand instant buys, which I would think that this means that the price is too high and it will go down because that very large current supply. Oh, but so the buy price, or the buy orders, which is the sell price, should not go down because this volume of orders here is too much. Which suggests there is something this is used for. I just don't know what it is because I'm a noob. This volume. What's the volume of instant buys? I could see this going up maybe a little bit, but that flipping margin is just so huge that I don't think so. I think it will actually narrow. So I'm going to say it should get to 120,000 for the buy price. The sell price should stay the same. That's just my guess, and that will be within the next week or two. Obsidian, I do not know this market. I can see this is decent volume in terms of the instant buys. Not looking at the other stuff yet. Yeah, this tells me nothing. Every time I've looked here, it's been in the 2200 range. I think I saw 1700 once. That seems really low. But I don't know this market. We can come back to that in another episode. 2300, okay. Glowstone. Glowstone, I do know this market. Okay, so I don't deal in the glowstone blocks, only the regular dust. My prediction is that in the short term the price should fall. I certainly hope it does. I think that the sell orders here will put it down in the 700s. Buy orders, if the buy orders dip below 650, I will buy everything, or everything I can, because what I've seen happens is that this 647,000 available volume will disappear pretty quickly, and it won't get replaced. So the price can go into multiple thousands all of a sudden, and that is a pretty good investment. It takes a week or two, right, usually. That's what I've seen. Flint. I don't really get why people spend so much on flint, but there is limited supply as well, because it is not a great minion to use. It's not great for money. It's not as terrible as it used to be. I still feel like enchanted flint should fall, but I'm probably missing something because it's been like a month or two now. So I do not have a prediction on enchanted flint. Looking at ice, this price, that is pretty low available volume. Only 39 offers. We should go check that on the bazaar tracker now. No. What I'm looking for, well, let's look at the total overview once it loads. But what I'm actually here looking for is, it's pretty stable. The sell orders, because there's only 39 of them, so we're going to get a pretty good sample here. What was the volume? So these are mixed. This is what is available to buy, not what people are buying. That is incorrect. So yeah, it's kind of backwards. So this matches the sell orders here, I believe. Yeah, that's right. So there's 39 orders, 2.2 thousand volume, and right here we have 1.2. What's up here? So this is the majority of the selling stuff right now, and that is a pretty high price. I feel like this is a planned move. Oh, there's 2 orders at this price. There's probably the same person putting orders, because he's been buying and he didn't feel like taking the first order down and combining them, I would assume. So he's probably got a buy order over here somewhere, but I don't know. So I don't think that this will actually go up much. It could hit this. I think probably it does hit this sometimes, and it might, but for 10 minutes at a time, sometime this week. But this order I do not believe will sell out, and therefore the price will return. I think this price stays the same. Switch back over to Minecraft. It's possible for it to go down. Actually, there is another factor, because the ice, a lot of it is used with blaze rods, and this price is pretty high right now. The volume's improving though. So that could actually lead to ice going down temporarily because of a lack of demand. I'm tempted to put a buy one. Catch order. I will put, what does this cost? 66. 200. kind of expensive. I might cancel that if we see a better option. Alright. Now we're looking at ice. Netherrack is not relevant except for when someone manages to manipulate it, in which case it's still not relevant. Sand. Alright, so I saw a video today explaining how the new farming island makes sand a good option for new players. I do not recall who had the video, so I can't tell you that right now. But because of that video and the fact that, you know, it wasn't a huge audience, but the fact that it seemed like reasonable math and whatnot, I think that sand is going to go down. I am hoping that it goes down, in fact. I would like this to drop to 400. If it could drop to 320, which is NPC value, or I think it's no, this one doesn't have 640. How's it 320? Okay, so NPC value of 320. I don't know of any source of serious demand for these, so I could easily see it dropping to 400 and then being held up after that by people buying minions and also investors. That's short term. Long term, I am hoping that they will add more to the sand collection, in which case the price should go back up. And if it drops down below NPC, that means people will start to sell their stuff to NPC instead, just because it's fast. And sometimes it'll drop below NPC, perhaps, but not for long. And that will keep the volume from getting too high. If this drops to 400, I will start buying. At no point putting a catch order right now, 871,000. If this drops to 400, I will probably try to stockpile, 30 double chests or something, just for update possibilities. It'll depend on how my funds are doing at the time. So long-term bullish, short-term bearish. In stone, I don't know this market. White. That volume is really low, but it's so easy to get. This might just be a good income. I don't know. That's interesting. Short term, I think this could spike. Well, there's only 57 offers. We can check this on the website as well. Check this. It's possible it's been spiking. Actually, 1 week history might use. Oh. So that's just right now that it did that. It spiked once. Well, it had this spike right here. That wasn't that long ago. Wow. It's interesting. I feel like this might have an NPC of 640. Just based on the value it's staying at. Look at these orders. It would take barely any coins to buy up all of that. I could see this hitting maybe even 2,000, which sounds absurd, but it could hit 2,000 tomorrow. I think that the volume will be replaced pretty soon, though. Because, I mean, there's 1.5 million here. I wonder if it's profit just to buy and craft. I'm not going to do the math, I'm just going to do it, Oops. Missed a stack. So we spent 2,000 and something or other. I don't care. If we sell instantly, it's not profit. I think that's profit. Yeah, so in the term of 1 week, I think this is going down. And in the term of 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure it's going down. In the time of the next 24 hours, I think that it could spike to 2,000. It's also possible that it would completely run out of supply. So at that point, it might say something absurd like 700,000 per, but nobody will actually pay that, or I would hope not. Alright, we're almost done. Snow, I don't think this ever changes. I think this just stays the same because of all the snow minions. Dwarven materials. Enchanted mithril, it doesn't really move. I think 385,000 is a little low, but it's not low enough that it's going to move. Not substantially, at least. Well, yeah. And these orders are all pretty small. That's interesting. So it might be a good option to put a catch order at like 1550 and hope that the rest of these are blown through. I doubt you could get in at 1520. There's probably a bunch of orders for hundreds of thousands at that point. But there's potential. Refined mithril. This might have stabilized, but I still feel like, well, there's not a lot of supply there. There should be more though. Probably because everyone's making the power crystals. I don't really have a comment on that. Enchanted titanium, I'm pretty sure that this is going to go down because there's only 47,000 demand in 78 orders. Those orders are all small except for my orders, which are catch orders, of course, and volume manipulation. So I think this will go down. It might drop to where my catch orders are at. It will probably fill that 8,000 one, the 8,000 price, not the 8,000 the item. And then after it recovers, I think that the buy price here could be as low as 9,000 in the 3 days following the price crash. Treasurite, I have no input on this. It almost feels like they need to add something more in terms of use for Treasurite. I don't know. Starfall. That's kind of a low price. Let's look at the other fuels. That's pretty high. In fact, that's pretty low volume, too. That went up a tiny bit. That volume went down again. So, I think that this is going to go up in the short term. There's that huge amount at 400. Oh, somebody skipped it down to 350, skipping all the numbers in between. And that lowered the pricing here. That's interesting. So it looks like a 20 coin flip. It's really more like a 70 coin flip. That's interesting. That might be intentional manipulation, I don't know. How much does this cost? Well, it costs too much. 7,000, whatever the price Oops. Alright. Okay, we've gone through all of the mining materials, and I'm not going to go through the rest of this right now. I may go over it this week, I may not. I will go back over mining at a later time. Hopefully I can make this like a recurring thing, where I go over it like every week, perhaps. And yeah, my favorite out of all of these is either the enchanted glowstone once it falls, and once that 647,000 volume goes below 200,000. And then second favorite is coal, I think. But I feel like it's going to dip one last time, or at least one more time. After hopefully rising a little more. I thought I put it at 175. Okay, so I lowered mine to 172. That means that the price is only ever going to go up to 171 and 999. And I will fail miserably. I have lowered my price because I think that it will dip after this spike that it's on right now. But that's just, I want to be able to sell for a profit so that I can buy in more when it dips. Because, I mean, even buying at 161,000, I've made so much money buying at that price, or higher prices actually, to flip in the past. So, this is just depressed because of the increase in volume and the change in fuels and whatnot. Yeah. Hopefully that one works out. Alright, there's my general overrun of the mining markets. And you have my favorite options. The best NPC flip, of course, is Enchanted Mithril, I think. Emeralds sometimes, but yeah. Alright. Good luck with your flipping and investing. This is more of an investing thing, I guess. Well, I haven't been telling you extreme long term. But, yeah, good luck.